In this video, we're going to compare the pre-assessment and post-assessment throwing motion of the student involved in the overhand throw. And so looking at the wind-up phase here, we are looking at how, alright, in the top video in the post-assessment up here, we're looking at the T-shape that we want from our thrower. And it is significantly not there. As you can see, this back arm is not extended behind him, his elbow is not up high, and this front arm is certainly not looking out, pointing toward his target. So his T-shape in the post-test is not effective, and neither is the connection between his hand and his, I guess there is a connection between his hand and non-throwing hand and non-throwing foot. However, it is not effectively stepping, and he is not effectively reaching. So while they are attached the way you want them to be, he is not following the correct motion. The ball is not up by his ear, and he is not answering the phone. Down here in the post-test, in the post-assessment video, you can see the T-shape is much more pronounced through his elbows and arms, while his front arm is not straight. It is a drastic improvement over what we were seeing up here in the pre-test. We're also going to look at how that T-shape, he's upright, and in his backswing, in his load phase, he is not holding the ball up to his ear as much. It is extended farther back behind him than I would like it to be, but he is in a good position to provide some power into the throw. As we take a couple of steps forward, we're going to look at the post-test video here and look that his hand and foot are semi-attached by a string. He's got a much better stepping motion here, and we're going to compare some angles here as we're looking at the knee bend on this front leg is not significant. He is really standing upright. He's really not putting his body into it, whereas in the post-test, we are really looking at a good knee bend. He is squatting more, 137 degrees versus almost in the pre-test video up here. It's almost a straight leg. It pretty much is a straight leg, about 180 degrees. Down here, we're looking at much more significant knee bend. He's using much more of his body, his torso, to throw the ball, and that's what we were looking for. So as we perform the throwing motion, and we extend, we can see in the pre-test that there's not a lot of shoulder rotation. He is certainly not opened up his back to the camera, whereas down here in the post-test, he is definitely leaning away from the camera compared to how open they both were in the load phase as well. In the post-test, he is very open, facing the camera almost completely sideways from his target, while up here in the pre-test, he is looking at his target. His shoulders are almost square to his target. He does not have good wind rotation. And as we follow through, you can really see in the post-test video how that hand is coming all the way across his body. He's leaning a little more forward than I would like to see, but he is definitely reaching down and putting that hand in his pocket. Whereas in the pre-test video, his hand is right here. It is not in his pocket. It is not reaching across his body, and he is certainly not getting the rotation that we're looking for in the shoulders and in the trunk. So the post-test video shows a drastic improvement in shoulder and trunk rotation.